Quite often our guilt and shame comes from when we're a child, right? Comes from being judged as a child, trying to fit into this, as Eliza said, trying to fit into these limiting perceptions that our culture might have. Like, for instance, don't cry for a man, right? A lot of men in Australia won't cry because you're told, you're seen as weak, you're perceived as being weak if you cry, right? So a lot of men, when they're growing up, they say, don't cry, and it's a peer group pressure. So ultimately, a lot of these false beliefs about who you are come when you're a child. So one thing you've got to do to overcome shame and guilt is you've got to self-parent. You've got to know how to parent your inner child who's wounded, because it's your wounded child who has these false beliefs. A lot of these heavy emotions around not feeling good enough, feeling they did something wrong. So this is an exercise that I'm going to give you guys now, which I call the love sandwich. This is what I want you to do. I want you to put your right hand out in front of you. Now, just put your right hand out, right? Now, your right hand represents your masculine energy. That's about you protection. It's like a protection energy. This is like the bottom of the sandwich, the bottom bread, right? Now, in this bottom hand, I want you to feel your strength as a power animal. This is one way to connect our strength. Have both of you guys got an animal that you feel is really strong? Eliza, what's an animal that you see as being strong?
Jaguar.
Jaguar, cool, excellent. Julia?
Yeah, that's Black Panther.
The Black Panther, cool.
Favorite.
Okay, so I want you to imagine feeling the strength of that jaguar or the Black Panther in your right hand. Feel that power, the strength. It's like the bottom of the sandwich. Now I want you to imagine that your inner child, which is like little Eliza or little Julia, is now on your hand, your right hand. And I want you to feel your inner child being protected by that jaguar or by the Black Panther. Just allow your inner child, your little girl, that wounded part of you who had shame and guilt from being judged when you were younger. I want you now to feel that strength of being protected by that power animal. Just really feel that on your hand. Okay, so now I want you to move your left hand, right? I want you to put your left hand on top of your right hand. This is like the top of the sandwich. And your left hand is your feminine side. This is the love from your heart. So I want you to send love from your heart to your left hand. And this is your feminine side of who you are. This is your mother energy, which is about nurturing. So I want your inner child is now in between your right and your left hands. So I want you to allow your inner child to feel protected by your power animal, the masculine energy, and at the same time to feel the nurturing of the feminine mother energy. I just want you to really feel your inner child in between this perfect mother and father for you, created by your energy. Just allow your inner child, your little girl who felt wounded, felt shame, felt guilt, to be looked after by this powerful power animal, the masculine energy, and to feel nurtured and cared for by the feminine mother energy in your left hand. Really feel it. Focus on allowing yourself to be your inner child and parented by the mother and father energy. Actually, what I want you to do now is I want you to move your hands to your heart. I want you to put your left hand on your heart, your right hand on top, your right hand on top of your left hand. And I want you to imagine that your inner child now is inside your heart. And this is where you can be a safe place for your inner child to be. With your left hand on your heart and your right hand on top of your left hand. And now just for a minute or so, just allow yourself to feel your inner child feeling safe and nurtured and protected by the mother and father energy inside your heart. Okay, so now you can open your eyes. So let's just briefly ask you how you went. Eliza, how did that feel?
It was good.
Yeah? Good meaning what? Oh, you're different. You look different.
Feels as a practice which could be very useful to me.
Yeah. Self-parenting is a very, very powerful exercise because quite often we judge our parents from the way we looked after us, but then we actually don't look after our own inner child. We tend to abandon them and reject them and suppress all their feelings, and we don't listen to them. Knowing how to parent your inner child is a really, really powerful thing to do to allow yourself to overcome shame and guilt. Because remember, your inner child went through all that experiences to help you learn so much about who you are today, right? Julia, how did you go?
It was really interesting, and some of my from my childhood, some of the phases or just kept coming up, like some I don't know, when I was like 1 year old, or when I was 7 years old, and I was, like just memories.
Yeah.
Coming up. Yeah. And yeah, some kind of visualization. And
yeah. And that's cool, because in a minute we're going to give you a 3-step process how you can transmute an emotion. But actually, that's actually powerful that actually happened, Julia. Because actually, in a way, we do want our emotions to come up. It's not to suppress them. Because Julia, if those emotions do come up, those experiences surface, but you're in the space of having a protective father and mother energy, you can help that little Julia transmute them, because it's a safe environment. Because see, one thing we do is we tend to suppress this shame and guilt so deep inside because we don't want to feel it. But the more we suppress it, we're actually creating our world from that energy of shame and guilt. And as Eliza said before, that stops us creating our dreams. If we've got a lot of shame, suppressed shame and guilt. Because what's going to happen is you're going to get triggered. You've got a lot of shame and guilt and you haven't dealt with it. is going to be triggered, which could be in a relationship, right? Where you tend to sacrifice yourself in a relationship because you have shame of who you are, right? Or you feel guilty and invalidate your own needs, and therefore you tend to please other people. Just following the point that Eliza said, this can be a powerful exercise that you can do every day to nurture your inner child. And the more you do it, the more your inner child's going to feel safer.